Shohei Otani. He's played in more games than any active player without getting to the postseason. Ohtani smokes this ball, and it's a screamer of a double to start this ball game. There they go, throw to third, the 50th for Ohtani. That's a base hit to right field. Ohtani's 2 for 2. How about 51? Slashes his third hit of the game into the left center field gap. Sends one in the air, deep right field. He's in a world of his own. He's one shy of the first 50-50 campaign in baseball history. Sends one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. Gone! Shohei Otani starts the 50-50 club. Oh, my gosh. Shohei Otani, the greatest day in baseball history.
Arguably the greatest day in baseball history from baseball's only 3-time unanimous MVP. Speaking for the first time from spring training camp as a World Series champion, here's Shohei Otani today at Camelback Ranch.
How were you able to maintain your strength after the shoulder surgery? Do you feel just as strong as you normally would?
強さっていうのはどこら辺ですかね。完全にその違和感がないっていう状態ではないですけど、もう少しすればそれがまた良くなってきて、しばらくはこう違和感が残るんじゃないかなとは思いますけど、今の現状それでもバットは結構触れてるので、そこの戦いかなと思います。
I do feel like there's some discomfort that I have to still overcome. It's not really, debilitating, but I do feel like I feel pretty good almost getting there to where I want it to be.
Is that discomfort more like tightness, or like how is it like how do you feel like your shoulder feels compared to like where it is normally before the injury?
It's the limited range of motion. I've gone through it with the elbow before, and with the shoulder it's a little bit more complicated. So I do believe that's the part that I have to be patient.
Dave was saying that when you do go back to two-way duties full-time, like maybe he doesn't expect you to steal as much or maybe get more off days as a DH. Like, are there other things you're going to have to do once you do start pitching again to just balance the workload?
I want to let the team dictate that. I do want to play as much as possible, as many games as possible. But if the team feels like I should get a break, I'll follow that.
You have to look at, just in regard to hitting as the spring training as a progression as well, everything from kind of getting more rotation to taking part in Cactus League games. Like, do you feel like you are in the, right step when it comes to facing live pitching just yet?
On the hitting side of things, I do feel like everything is on time and on schedule. Today, hitting outside was part of the plan as well. So I do feel confident that I'll be able to make it when the team starts, when the season opens. Yeah.
We saw Roki have his first bullpen. Were you able to kind of get some eyes on him? What are you seeing from him? And what has it been like having him now here in camp as well?
I do feel like he's enjoying himself. I'm sure this new environment, being a little dry, I'm sure that it's, you're not going to be able to pitch the way you want to exactly, but I do believe that he's enjoying and he's going to make those adjustments.
With Sasaki, what can we realistically expect from him this season?
I do feel confident that as long as he's healthy, that he'll be able to perform well. Again, the important thing is for him to be acclimating to the environment that he's in.
As a World Series champion, it feels like there's even more media following you, even more fans. Does that ever get tiring?
I really appreciated the celebration, was able to soak in all the accomplishments as a team. But, I think we have to turn the page and prepare, for the 2025 season, and so that we can celebrate again.
Well, we know Shohei is working back from 2 injuries, really. We talked earlier about him coming back from the elbow surgery, Jerry. He also had the surgery on his non-throwing shoulder right after the World Series Game 2 slide. We saw him taking batting practice today, finally started to let it go, although he says the shoulder still isn't 100%. What do you think the road to recovery looks like for him from a hitting standpoint?
Well, I think he's going to make the adjustments, and his shoulder will be just fine. Now, I had a similar surgery now. That was 25 years ago. I had the exact same surgery. Obviously, medicine and recovery time and knowledge of that shoulder is a lot better these days. I had it during the season, though, so I rushed back, and I don't think my shoulder really was fine for that season, really the next season. But Shohei Otani, more importantly, had his shoulder surgery right after the season. So he had a lengthy period of time to really rehab and get that shoulder strong. Now we can kind of slow play him a little bit and be ready to go for the regular season. He's a strong young man. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and he's Shohei Otani, the best baseball player on the planet, and really strong. And the one thing players have said that have had that similar surgery, he's going to be able to come back quicker because it's not his lead front shoulder, it's his back shoulder. Right. Guys like Matt Kemp, guys like Cody Bellinger, that was their front shoulder. And also, you know, I know he's the best player, I know he's the unicorn, but you just hope that he's not compensating for it in any way, where at the beginning of the season, Jerry, maybe he starts to get into some bad habits to compensate.
That is an incredible point, because this was my lead shoulder, and that you really need to stay inside the ball. This provides the power. I think it's going to be a lot beneficial for him not being that lead shoulder. That is important. Really good point.
Yeah, he said a little bit of discomfort in the shoulder, and it's mostly a range of motion issue, but he's still, according to some of the people who saw him today, he was still hitting bombs during batting practice. Coming up, as if there was any doubt, Kike Hernandez is back in Dodger Blue. We will hear from LA's version of Mr. October on why this was the only place to be. It's Shohei mania all over again this season. This tweet from Fabian Ardaya earlier today. Roki Sasaki draws a crowd. I would say so. His first time speaking to the media at Camelback Ranch today. Here's what Roki had to say after throwing his first bullpen.
Well, Roki, first threw a bullpen today, had Austin Barnes catching. Just how would you say today went for you?
今日は初めてのブルペン投げて、バーンズ星に、キャッチングしてもらって、今日の全体の感想を聞かせてください。
状態はそこまで良くなかったんですけど、まず怪我なくしにブルペンを終えれてよかったです。
It didn't necessarily feel great today, but I think just being able to get through the first bullpen without any injuries was a good thing.
Dave Roberts shared that he's hopeful that you'll be pitching in the Tokyo series. Just what does that mean to you personally to potentially have that opportunity there?
Having this opportunity to open the season in Japan with a major league team is really special, so I just want to make sure that I'm prepared to be ready for that.
How much of a help has it been to have Shohei and Yamamoto here to sort of help bounce ideas off of and sort of help make it more comfortable for you here at the start?
It being my first day today, obviously there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know, so being able to talk to them beforehand just to check how things would go, and then sort of being able to check with them as things go along was really helpful.
You said you didn't necessarily feel great today. Was that just nerves or mechanics, or what did you think it was today?
Yeah, there were obviously some nerves, and then it was just a little bit colder than I was expecting today, and then some mechanical things where my body wasn't maybe moving the way that I was expecting it to.
Joe Wolf, during your free agency, said you don't think of yourself as a finished product yet. What are the things you need to do to get closer to that, and what is the focus this spring for you?
Until I actually throw in the majors, it's difficult to know like how I will do and what's needed to succeed in the major leagues. And so right now I'm just prepared on focusing on the things that I can improve on, the skills that I need to work on. And then once I'm able to actually pitch in games, I think I'll find out more.
Where does your slider kind of fit into that? And have the Dodgers given you kind of any insight or anything like that they would like to see you try to do this spring and work on that?
Yeah, I haven't really been told anything specific by the organization yet. My fastball and splitter are sort of the basis of my arsenal, and they weren't necessarily at their best last year, so I want to focus on just getting those back to their best and then mixing the slider, and that will expand my repertoire as I go.
What's your experience been like working with Dodgers staff in the short time that you've been here?
Everyone's been really kind, and there's a lot of excellent staff here, and so I just want to sort of to take what I can from them to sort of borrow their advice and their strength.
What would it mean for you personally to pitch one of the two games in Tokyo for the Dodgers?
Yeah, obviously the opportunity to open a major league season in Japan itself is rare, like I said earlier, and so being able to do that as a rookie is even more special. And so right now I'm just focused on preparing for that.
All right, so in case you didn't know this, in 2022, when Roki Sasaki was 20 years old, he threw a perfect game that April. It was the first perfect game in Japan in 28 years. And then 7 days later, he had another perfect game through 8 innings. His manager took him out of the game because he said he wanted to protect his health. And that's the level of talent, Jerry, the Dodgers have here in Roki Sasaki. But what kind of expectations do you have in year one in the big leagues?
I think it needs to be, take a step back a little bit. Listen, we know he's got incredible talent, and the makeup is off the charts. Now, remember Yamamoto last year? He was a finished product. I know he's 25 years of age, but he was so accomplished when their equivalent Cy Young's over there. He knew exactly what he was doing on the mound. Now, this young man has all the talent in the world. Think of it as Luka, right? Luka's 25. He has not yet reached his prime, but he's still been great, just like Sasaki. He's still been great, but now we're getting him about to enter his prime. So you got to remember, he's still a rookie, okay, but accomplished over there in Japan. So I think just take a step back. Let's see how he develops the first couple months. But I'm telling you, once he gets used to this, the new baseball, acclimated to the big leagues, I think he's really going to take off because our coaching staff is second to none, especially with his talent.
I know Andrew Friedman believes that Sasaki can be one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball in the next 2 or 3 years. I know Sasaki's goal is to be a Cy Young winner during that period of time. He seems to have all the physical skills. He's more physically imposing than Yamamoto is. And when you hear Ohtani and Yamamoto rave about a 23-year-old that hasn't accomplished as much as they ever did in Japan, that speaks volumes.
Yeah. Here's another thing, too. Yamamoto can spot that fastball all the time, and he's got 3+ pitches. Obviously, the fastball at 95 to 98 miles an hour, really good breaking ball, that devastating split. Roki's best pitch right now is that split finger. Fastball, if he's pinpointing, he is virtually unhittable, but sometimes it could be erratic. That third pitch, that breaking ball, he has not mastered that. He needs to master it. It could happen this month. It could happen 2 months from now. It could happen next year. But once he masters that third pitch, wow, yeah, he's not going to be fun to hit.
He seems to be a guy that is like your secret weapon in October. I feels like it's the play for October if his innings are going to be limited, and the experience he gets, whatever that is, in preparation to be a weapon in October is going to be huge.
But here's the thing. I think his learning curve is so much shorter having Shohei Otani and Yamamoto there, helping him with a variety of pitchers, and then watching big leaguers every single day to go along with our coaching staff. This kid's going to be a superstar, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, only threw 110 innings last year, and I think the Dodgers would probably be happy if he threw 110 innings this year and was healthy for that month of October. Now, Roki Sasaki will have plenty of people to help him make that adjustment and the transition to the majors, not just his fellow pitchers on the staff, but the Dodgers veteran catchers as well, both of whom have caught the final out of a World Series. And one of those guys, Austin Barnes, talked about Roki after he caught his first bullpen today.
Yeah, it was good. First pin, obviously. You know, probably a little nervous for him, I would assume. And but his fastball is a big fastball. Had a lot of carry, a lot of ride to it. And yeah, the split finger is different. I haven't really seen a pitch like that before. It's different than like Yamamoto. It's good. It's obviously it's hard to catch sometimes. It's moving all over the place. But yeah, I think he was just getting his feet wet. First pin of the thing, you know. He's young. He'll have a lot of time to get ready for the season, and excited to see what he's going to do.
Does that fastball remind you of anyone else that you caught?
No, I mean, he's got a real smooth delivery. Obviously, a real big guy. The ball jumps at you, though. You know, it has that thing that kind of just, like, explodes up and little arm side stuff. And it's a big fastball. And, you know, pair that with his split. I think they play good off each other, and it'll be fun to see you know, his full slate of stuff. And I think he was, like I said, just getting his feet wet with the first man.
Gosh, when you have a young pitcher, especially a rookie who's got so much hype, Jerry, imagine it's got to be really beneficial for him to have these veteran catchers like the Dodgers do, because both Will Smith and Austin Barnes, they've got the experience and they have the knowledge to help him so much.
It is huge. Obviously, it's going to help Sasaki so much. And just that clip right there, listening to Austin Barnes has seen just about everything in the big leagues. As a hitter, it's certainly as a catcher. For him to say, wow, that split finger is nasty, it's different. It's different than Yamamoto. Yamamoto's split is absolutely nasty. For Barnesy to say, he didn't say it, but I saw it in his expression, that's the best splitter he's ever seen. So, that's a great thing. But what he can do, helping him with his delivery, making sure it's consistent. He can repeat those mechanics, but also during games can be able to set up hitters along with Will Smith. That's a luxury these veteran catchers bring to the staff is being able to set up hitters throughout the course of a game.
The reason why he said he's never seen a pitch like the split-fingered from Sasaki, it's because it's not a pitch that is used a lot in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers are one of the more unique teams where they have 4 pitchers that actually use it as part of their repertoire. Talking about veteran Kirby Yates, Tony Gonsolin has a splitter, Yamamoto, and now Sasaki. That used to be a pitch back in the 1980s that former Dodger pitcher and former Giants manager Roger Craig really taught. And that used to be a in vogue pitch. Similar to how you hear about this sweeper slider pitch. The split-fingered fastball used to be a more common pitch hitters saw. You just don't see it, which makes it even more devastating.
It's amazing. As I got older throughout the big leagues, when I first 4 or 5 years, I saw the split a lot. Chuck Finley from the left side, nasty split. Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling. Curt Schilling threw more of a forkball. Maybe that's what Sasaki has. That forkball is more nasty, has more of a depth to it. But as I got in my career, I'd be like, why guys aren't throwing forkballs or splitters
Especially
anymore?
you said the OG Japanese pitcher was Hideo Nomo, gave you problems.
Why you got
the tornado?
0 for 9 career lifetime against Hideo Nomo with 19 strikeouts. He was a nightmare for me.
All right, well, more from Roki Sasaki saying thanks to another veteran today. A special gift from Roki to Miggy for that number 11. A couple bottles of sake for Miguel Rojas, giving up that number 11 to Roki when he signed with the Dodgers. DV, I know you don't like to go out to Arizona to watch guys play catch, but you had to have a little bit of FOMO today because your guy, Blake Snell, in a Dodger uniform, his very first bullpen in Arizona. Even Kirsch was there to watch Snellzilla's first bullpen.
And I know that meant a lot to Snell to have Kershaw there watching him because he admires everything that Kershaw's done and actually told Andrew Friedman during their courting meeting that I want my locker next to Kershaw's if I sign with you guys. And where are the cameras for Snell? That's where all the cameras should have been. His first bullpen session. Sportsnet LA knew where to go to see Snellzilla throw number 7. And yeah, I mean, he's excited. He's been there for 2 weeks. He's learning how to adjust in his 30s to get more serious to prepare for a season.
Again, I had never met Blake Snell up until we had Fan Fest. And he, out of everyone that day, really impressed me. Listen, I know he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. I know he wants to win. Everybody wants to win. But you can see in his eyes, he is determined to not only be a champion, but he said it, John. He told us, I want to be a Hall of Famer. And that's why he said, listen, I want my locker next to Clayton Kershaw. I want to make sure I absorb and listen to his greatness and also see how that applies to me. Get with our front office, making sure how I could tweak a certain pitch because I expect to be better and better and not just be great for a couple years. Be great and lead this staff for several years. So I love the makeup of Blake Snell. And now I get it. I get why you have such a man crush on Blake Snell.
I mean, he's a really good pitcher, and his baseball IQ, you're going to find out, is greater than what people perceive it to be. There was one time where we were watching Mookie Betts and some of the other star Dodger players taking early batting practice off of a pitcher. And he knew each hitter's weakness. He knew how to set him up. He was thinking the game even during a live batting practice session. And you saw that clip right there where he even knew his body movements. That's where, you know, I know he's new to the Dodgers, but this guy's been in the league for a long time now. He's not a rookie. Right. He knows himself really well, and he can impart knowledge to young guys like Bobby Miller, too.
I love that part. He's going to be mentoring Bobby Miller.
And you also hope he teaches Kirsch the cambio because Blake Snell has a great cambio.
Please do.
From one Blake to another, Blake Treinen re-signed with the Dodgers during the offseason after a heroic month of October, helping the Dodgers capture that World Series title. Jerry, Treinen also throwing that first pen today. We know this guy, World Series hero forever here in Los Angeles.
So happy that he is back. This guy's got a heart of a lion, is not afraid of any situation. And you know what? He will pitch in any situation. You want him to close, he'll do that. Come in the 5th inning to get key outs, he'll do that. All this guy cares about is winning and having a chance to win another World Series. Good to have him back in the mix.
It's amazing to see a guy like Blake Treinen in spring training, clean shaven. He looks so fresh right there compared to when we last saw him in the World Series where he just expended everything. So that's the one thing that stood out to me seeing Blake Treinen
Kind of like
his
Kirsch. Kirsch
yeah,
always comes clean shaven, then he lets everything go throughout.
Yeah, exactly. Treinen, same way.
All right, still more to come here on Sportsnet LA. One of the big stories of the day in Arizona, Shohei's return to the mound, but there's also news about Shohei the hitter as he continues to come back from shoulder surgery. More from the big show coming up. Plus Clayton Kershaw, Kike Hernandez finally got that parade last fall, and boy, did they live it up. Both guys back here to run it back in 2025. We'll hear from Kike straight ahead.
大谷翔平とドジャース2025年に向けた新たな挑戦。歴史的な 5-0 クラブの達成。史上初の3度目の満票 MVP。そしてワールドシリーズ制覇。大谷翔平の2024年はまさに夢のようなシーズンだった。しかし、彼とドジャースの旅はまだ終わっていない。むしろ、ここからが本当の戦いの始まりだ。スプリングトレーニングでは、大谷がバッティング練習を再開し、復帰に向けて順調な歩みを見せている。肩の違和感はまだあるものの、ほぼ思い描いた状態に近づいている。と語る彼の表情には、自信と決意が感じられた。ドジャースの一員として、また新たなシーズンに挑む大谷の姿を見るのが今から楽しみでならない。さらに、今シーズンからは佐々木朗まれという新たな才能が加わった。彼の初ブルペンには多くのメディアが集まり、その注目度の高さを証明した。初日は、思うように投げられなかった。としながらも、分厚い才能とメジャーへの適応力の高さを見せつけた佐々木。ドジャースのピッチングコーチ陣、そして大谷、山本といった日本人エースたちのサポートを受けながら、彼がどのように成長していくのか、期待が高まるばかりだ。そしてブレイク、スネルも新たにドジャースに加わり、ワールドシリーズ連覇を狙うチームにさらなる厚みをもたらす。私は殿堂入りを狙っている。と語るスネルの野心と、クレイトン、カーショーのそばで学びたいという姿勢は、まさに本気度マックス。彼がドジャースのユニフォームを着てマウンドに立つ日が待ち遠しい。もちろん、昨年のワールドシリーズでチームを支えたキケ、ヘルナンデスやブレイク、トライネンも再びチームに合流し、2025年のドジャースはさらに盤石な体制に、彼らの経験と勝者のメンタリティが、チーム全体の士気をさらに高めてくれることは間違いない。去年の歓喜を、今年も、大谷翔平が語ったように、昨シーズンの成功はすでに過去のもの、次のシーズンに向けて準備をすることが大切だ。と、彼とドジャースの戦いは、まだまだ続く。2025年も、このチームがどんな奇跡を生み出すのか、目が離せない。そしてあなたも、この歴史的瞬間を一緒に目撃しませんか。ドジャースのシーズンを追いかけ、大谷翔平や佐々木朗まで、スネル、そして全選手たちの活躍を見届けよう。このチャンネルをフォローして、最新情報をお見逃しなく。あなたのコメントも大歓迎。大谷翔平やドジャースに期待すること、見たい試合、そして応援メッセージをぜひコメント欄に残してください。2025年シーズン、さあ行こう。